course is about organizations that need to be permeated with innovation, so that everything within the organization, whether it's business processes, whether it's financial processes, whether it's about business model, needs to be permeated with a sense of innovation. That means that everybody thinks about innovation on a daily basis, not just the marketing department looking at new product development, but the whole organization looking about how do we become an innovative organization. I suppose the reality of it is that there are very few organizations that have got it right. We have examples like Procter & Gamble. Yesterday, in fact, we had breakfast with the CEO, A.G. Lafley of Procter & Gamble, talking about how he got this right. We'd like to bring some of what we've learned about making your organization and its culture an innovative culture. We'd like to bring some of what we've learned into the classroom and transfer that to you. Now, who are the people who should attend this program? It's clear there are a lot of innovation programs. There are lots of programs that are offered by business schools and consultants and so on. But we're looking to people who have some experience in this area, who've struggled with the area, who realize that it's a difficult area. It's no good running a program where you're very evangelical, where you're really giving the message, but then you keep saying, oh, and by the way, this is difficult. We actually need people in the room who know it's difficult, and the course kicks off for them a way of getting over that difficulty. So if you've got experience and you've struggled with it, here's a chance for being stimulated, thinking differently about what you're doing, and also kicking off again with what you've done, and you might not have been that successful, or your results have been mediocre, or you're a complete failure. And there's nothing wrong with being a complete failure in this business. I mean, the statistics are very, very clear. Most people fail in the area of innovation. It's amazing. I mean, if you went to see a doctor and he said to you the likelihood of failure is about 50% or higher, you wouldn't allow a doctor to operate on you. You'd say, I'll find another doctor. Nobody goes in for that kind of operation at a personal level, yet in an organizational level, we're saying, oh, that's all right. We don't mind dealing with that failure. We'll have a party when we fail. Forget it. This course is not about the party when you fail. This is a course about success. So we've really encouraged people to come in their teams. We realize if you do the course on your own, the problem is going back to your organization and having to convince everybody, or alternatively sending them on a course. Much better for you to come with your team and say, how do we tackle this thing, and how do we leave the room after the program with the ball already rolling. The part of the problem of this kind of program is that, in fact, people go on and say, what does innovation mean to me, and how am I inspired? So the stories that you see on innovation programs tend to be the same stories. So you get a lot of evangelical kind of, you should be into innovation, that kind of approach. And we've gone a lot further. We're really saying, yeah, that's a starting point. But what does it mean for me to implement this and change my organization on a daily basis? So if you need, some of the stuff will be very inspirational. We've got to stimulate people, but it's very practical. It's practical in a sense of, if I have to have an innovation strategy, how do I go about defining that strategy? What does it mean to have an innovation strategy or a creativity strategy? And how does that mesh with my overall strategy? For example, if you're thinking that over the next 5 to 10 years, the markets that you will be operating in have not been defined yet, or you might not have a product yet for that market, your strategy is actually becoming an innovation strategy. Forget about the idea that you've got a strategy that's separated from your innovation strategy. It's part of your innovation strategy. And you won't achieve your strategy unless you're innovative. So you need to tie innovation right into the strategy. That's been quite difficult for organizations. They quite often, because of the models that we're using, and they're saying it's about new product development, you're able to determine a strategy and new product development over here, and hoping that this will happen here, and you're going to achieve that there. These two have to be linked up. And that's the difficulty that a lot of people have found in their organizations, is doing that. And that's why a lot of it, a lot of innovations projects and initiatives fail, because in the greater order of things, they don't really have a meaning. You actually start to say, we have business as usual, and we've got some guys down here who are being creative. We need everybody in the organization to understand what's happening there and to become creative.